the greatest advantage of a SME business is the speed at which you can make a decision and execute. And it doesn't have to be polished, because the people that you're dealing with don't really give a shit. They've just got a problem and they're looking for somebody to solve it. And if you can solve it and solve it really well at a price that they can see that there's value, money's going to change hands.
This year it will get even easier. So if you are actively going to the market with offers and willing to do it, you will start getting more yeses.
Speed wins, time kills deals.
Well, we are back, refreshed and ready to go for 2026. We're in the mix for 2026, fellas. Probably the new catch cry from the economists out there. New year, new economy. I can't wait to get started.
That is one hell of an intro, and as people would probably sit there and think, gee, he works on this stuff, it is completely off the cuff. But gee, what a summer it's been. The mood of the nation, of the people, of business owners, I think is still mixed. I've encouraged business owners that I've been speaking to reflect and think. At the beginning of 2025, it was all about survive till 2025 and things were going to be a lot better, right? And that didn't come to fruition. And I think the one thing, like a constant theme that's kind of come up during the year, both in discussions that we've had with clients, when it's come to reviewing ProvTax, and then just the articles out there in the media, is it's just hard. It wasn't easy to make a dollar, but there was opportunity out there if you were prepared to put in the work. And I think with that in mind, it's like, well, okay, you need to, as a business owner, look back at 2025 and go, what are the things that worked really, really well? Or what are the dumb decisions that I made in my business? Because everybody makes dumb decisions. Or at the beginning of the year, new year, new me stuff, New Year's resolutions, how many of those did you actually tick off and then go, right, rather than having a massive, big, long list, just pick one or two, I think, focus areas if you're a business owner. Because I think when you're trying to run a business, because I think so many SME businesses in New Zealand, owner-operated, you're in there, you're wearing multiple hats. So to try and have this massive list of like, we want to reinvent the whole way we do the business isn't going to happen overnight. So then just cherry pick a couple of things and then focus on those and get in the mix for 26.
Simple as that. Yeah, I sort of come up with, even for myself over the summer, thinking more of and less of. What things in 2026 do I want to do more of and what do I want to do less of? It's a very easy way to basically start planning out your year and reflect then on what it is that you do enjoy doing, so you can do more of that. And then, okay, these are some things that maybe I'm doing a little bit too much of, whether it's your own spending or whether it's the type of work you're doing, whatever. But, same with what you're saying is, okay, well, what was working well? Let's do some more of that because you're probably going to get your snowball going. And yeah, I think the conversations that we're having, I'm starting to see too much, well, no. How do I word this better? I'm not it's great to see the positivity, but there are more positive signs than I thought there were going to be. So I'm seeing more of those than is allowing me to be skeptical that the year could be bad, which is good. Like, I still think it's going to be hard, and it'll be hard for people that don't put in the effort, as it always is. But a lot of clients seem to be a lot more confident, and my pipeline's filling back up. That creates certainty and confidence, and then bang, they go faster.
Yep. I think the optimism gets ahead of the reality.
Yeah.
And I was reading that article from the economist that we were talking about, can't pronounce his name, and he was talking about the disappointment gap and was referencing the results of the retail sector where, exactly what you're saying, green shoots, we're going to have this great summer. Then the Boxing Day sales come out and I think it's all 12% lower than perhaps a prior year or whatever it was, but they were lower. And it's just like, that's the disappointment gap because there's just so much hope and optimism. And then when the data and the results actually come in, it's just like, and there's just this reliance on positivity, which creates this psychological mindset that everything's going to get good. And I think that for business owners, the massive risk there that we see is it creates complacency, that you just, things are going to be okay. I can just go like, yeah, cool, I'll breathe a little bit. No. As we said in 2025, that's the time to actually put the foot to the floor and keep the gas on.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is just going to go, okay, like last year was hard, I can take a breather because stuff's going to come to me. No, it's not. You got to put in the work.
Yeah, whenever I see the retail data, I always think, okay, how much has that now been impacted by people shopping overseas? And I think a lot of that data is local, right? But now it is just so common to hear people talk about the likes of what's the fashionable one? Temu.
Temu, yes.
You know, that was, you didn't even know what that was a few years ago. But now I think they're inching closer to $1 billion getting, sucked out and spent there.
Well, that got directly referenced in an article earlier about there's a thing, the Temu effect, and there was this business that I'd never heard of, Yo Susu or something, that's gone into liquidation, owing $2 million to unsecured creditors and close to $1 million to IRD, and they've got a massive big retail store in Queen Street, and I think there was another 6 or 8 other outlets. I'm just like, this is a business I've never heard of. Gone bust, blame Temu. I'm just like, wow. And then EB Games, multiple stores across the country, decided to, hey, look, we're going to go consult. And it's just like, yeah, this isn't predetermined. Next minute, hey, we're shutting down 50% sales. People were queuing for 3 and 4 hours to get 50% off. There's a topic for another discussion there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Of just going, you're queuing for 3 to 4 hours to save $100, so your effective hourly rate for you to wait is lower than minimum wage?
Ooh. Hard reality for people there.
Yeah. And then the convo of just like, how are you going to pay for that?
And then
we're getting off track, but the mind started to...
But even just from the business side, I'm thinking, how do you have people queuing for hours, but you couldn't create that demand when you weren't closing down?
Spot on.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that people are being really choosy with what they spend their money on, and a lot of that, that plasticky stuff that you could get at the mall is now, well, I will just get that from Temu or I'll order it online, and as long as it turns up quickly, well then, I'll buy it there.
Spot on. The classic example, Te Wari. I think they've gone through a massive crisis in the last couple of years of identity, and I've noticed in the last few weeks, maybe month or so, that they've gone through like a brand refresh. It's now not the warehouse where everyone gets a bargain. It's the warehouse, and I can't even remember it, but I saw it and I was like, shit, this advertising is actually quite good. It's refreshed. They're trying to put themselves out there as going, this is the place you can come to get what you want whenever you need it. Like, we are your one-stop shop. I'm like, okay, that's kind of smart. But you're still kind of competing with the likes of Temu and Kmart and just online retail.
Well, from the looks of the data, still those southern regions are doing well. So the further south we go, and we're looking at even Whanganui, I think, is absolutely cranking down there.
What happens down there, mate?
Isn't there a river? Yeah, there's a river. Yeah. I've been for a while, but I don't know why they're making so much money to do the spending. But those Otago, for instance, and Southland, Canterbury seems to be doing well. There just seems to be a bit more money sloshing around than the big 09, which is frustrating for a lot of people in Auckland. Yeah,
it sure is. It just seems to be, it just feels like it's still battling up here. And I think, interested leading up to this and doing some reading, still the amount of negative press in the business arena with like X amount of businesses going bust and da-da-da-da-da, and then the next minute it's just like, oh, there's green shoots and there's optimisms. And as a business owner, you're just like, oh, gee, what am I supposed to believe? And I think that comes back to your earlier comment that your own optimism and confidence comes from the work that you're doing and how much work are you doing to fill and nurture your pipeline. And I think one key takeaway that I've got from recent weeks is remind yourself what the basics are and do them well. So for context, we've just put in the swimming pool. Exciting times. And I've had to go off and organise a number of things for the swimming pool, from fences to concrete to pool covers to a whole heap of stuff. So out there reaching out to, people, oh, recommend this person and that person. And it's like you contact, they come and give you a quote, and there's one person that's a particular trade. I won't say what it is in case they happen to come across it or listen. But it's like they've given me a quote, and the quote was quite reasonable. Yes, the scope of what we're going to do has since changed since they've given us the quote. There's been no follow-up.
Wow. How long has elapsed?
Over a week.
Oh, wow.
And this is a dead set job on the go. Yep. And admittedly,
someone's going to get that job.
Someone's going to get it. There is money on the table here, and it was because of an ad. And I thought it was the right place, right time, scrolling, and the algorithm was listening because I hadn't searched any of this stuff. And I'm just like, wow, this ad's talking to me. Looked at the website. I'm just like, looks good. It's got exactly what I'm looking for. Fill out the inquiry form. This is how slick it was. Then get a text message. It's all automated in the thing of just going, hey, look, we filled out the form. We'll give you a call, da-da-da-da-da. Admittedly, I was getting peppered with the text messages on there, and so the automation was a bit overkill. But I thought, man, that's really smart. Person calls me, comes around for the quote, and gets the quote back. I then come out, hey, got to do this. But there's been no kind of like check-in or follow-up. And so it's like, well, how hungry are you for this piece of work? And then that compares it to somebody else for the same subtrade who we went out, it was recommended to us, come and quote this. And he's just like, hey, before I do, and I waste your time and mine, just talk me through what you want. And I was like, okay, this is what we want to do. And he's just like, cool, thanks, this isn't for me. And I was just like, that is absolutely fantastic. As a business owner, you've freed up your bandwidth and you've freed up my bandwidth. They then went on to go, oh, hey, look, when after asking, I'm like, well, just like, why? I'm curious to understand, like, why. He gave me a few reasons. And then said, look, from my experience, these are the things you need to watch out for when doing this, of like risk areas, to make sure that you get the type of finish and job that you're looking for. I'm just like, this is fantastic. So who would you recommend? Oh, get in touch with this person. Great, thanks. All the best for the year ahead. Done. So that's a business owner that's got clarity of who his ideal client is and confidence of his own pipeline of knowing that there's going to be work into the future.
Yeah, two things that I think we spoke about in the back end of 2025 that I think if more business owners had that, then, as you said the other day, you know, they would be a lot more confident in just their overall business and probably willing to take more risk and go faster.
Yeah, there's so much power in saying no. And I think a lot of business owners are probably reluctant to do that for fear of offending the person on the other end of the phone. But I think if you come up with a no and rationalize it or give it some kind of justification, like it's a me, not it's a you, but then offer the solution or the next step or the next unlock so that the person can carry on. That way they will feel supported. So much like this person gave me a whole heap of advice around what to look for in all these particular issues, it was then, okay, well, who's somebody you'd recommend? Boom, done, gone. And I'm just like, great. You know, it's not a, oh yeah, nah, this isn't for me, Kate, all the best, duff. And then it's like, oh, you're a bit of a dick. You know, there's that little bit of nurturing there that you think, okay, you're still a GC.
Yeah, I think going back to the basics that you touched on at the start of that, that's the simple things like actually responding to inquiry, following up your leads, like chasing up people who haven't paid you. Any of those little things that become admin and, but they actually are the things in a tough economy that do, move the needle.
And your great piece of advice that I can't remember how many years ago that you mentioned it to me for the first time, of just like, speed wins, time kills deals. I'd never heard it before you said it. I'm just like, yeah. And it's so true. It's like the early bird gets the morning worm. And you put out you go to a number of people, the first person that respond is highly likely to get the job.
Yeah.
Because they're responsive. And I think as a business owner, you've got to remove the 9 to 5 mentality, I think. Yes, we go on about protecting our time and all this kind of stuff, but just how hungry are you? And I don't want to get into demographics terribly much, but there's a particular demographic that just has got no excuses as to the days of the week or holidays, and will just keep working, and then they will pick when they want to work or not work. And typically, if you've got a problem and it needs to be solved, they will solve it for you.
Yeah.
And it's no problems too hard. It's just like, holy moly, there's some Kiwis here that could learn some lessons here.
Yeah. Yeah, willing to get it done.
Are you thinking about buying a business or maybe getting yours valued? At Next Advisory, we help you figure out what a business is really worth and guide you through a business purchase with confidence. Before you buy, visit nextadvisory.nz and book a time to have a chat with me.
In the frothy economy, I remember we were saying, and I think this is what's caught people out, is that they didn't have to go to the market would come to them. And we started saying to people years ago, you're going to have to go to the market. It's not just going to come to you anymore. And you see this all the time in the comments, and just people that are frustrated by their business. They're not really doing any outreach, but they're complaining about how tough it is, and LuxCon this and Jab Cinder and Hupkins and bloody, they've got all the names and the terminology,
Yeah.
But when you push them on, okay, what are you doing? What are you actually doing to try and get work? There's not really much volume at all.
Can you share that example that you shared with me in the office about the basic hack of going back through your contacts?
Yes, yeah. So this is a really good example of where then I think it changed, where you didn't have to do that a few years ago. Where literally, maybe it's 4 years ago, people were just out there doing things, getting in touch, and it would be, remember the tradies, they were banging, we just need to get through this project. Like, on the other side of this would be good, we'll get a bit of a breather. And then all of a sudden, construction's like liquidations, shit, might have to let people go.
Yeah, I've got to do a fence, I've got to do a deck, I don't like doing them, but, I'm used to doing a $3 million blooming renovation or a $5 million new build, now having to do a fence.
Yeah, and frustrated by the fact they have to do the fence, because for a lot of us, we didn't then change and go, now I'm going to have to go to the market. And I think where I was going to get to, and I'll give that example to show the flow of it, and now I think what we're seeing with clients is that when we were saying to them, you're going to need to go to the market, they were coming back going, well, I did that, but there wasn't a lot happening. And then they're kind of going, is the advice right, or just what is happening out there? Now I'm starting to see more and more clients that are saying, I rang so-and-so and it worked. I got in touch with that person. I found out about their pipeline. I did what you guys said and got close to them to find out, what have you guys got coming up over the next 2 years? How could we slot into that? Oh, shit, now we're going to be a part of that. So they're going to the market and seeing, some response. And I think if I can leave anybody with a piece of advice here, is that this year it will get even easier. So if you are actively going to the market with offers and willing to do it, you will start getting more yeses, and the rejection will decrease a bit. So you won't be stuck in this, oh shit, I got too many no's to want to carry on with this. It will be, this works. And I think the example Phil's talking about is we have a client who basically did exactly this. So they run off all of their past customers, and they systematically ring through each of them, and they drop out over 6 figures worth of work to do over a 5-month period. Now, for them, there's a financial component of having the 6 figures worth of work, but then for them, they're like, okay, I can model into my cash flow. Great. Not going to go into overdraft. That feels great. Great. We've got a consistency of work. No, we can pay for all these things. Probably can, hire that person. They had a staff member leave. A year ago, for a lot of businesses, it would be, I don't know if I'm going to rehire. They're going, well, I know I've got that work coming online, and I know from those ones, nothing landed yet, but they said that there will be stuff coming through. I know my cash flow can afford it, so I'm going to get straight back out there and hire and keep the team the same size. So through actually doing some physical outreach, they then shake the tree. There's fruit in the tree. They start chewing on it. Then they're more motivated, they're more confident, and then the whole thing rolls faster.
The clarity and confidence that comes from just sucking it up, and I suppose getting over your own maybe lack of confidence and insecurities or whatever it is that's holding you back, to then go, right, I'm going to face some rejection. And it was that other example I think that you shared late last year of somebody that was on the phone and got to call 16 and 17.
Yes.
And then it was just like, no, 16, yes, 17, yes. And it was just like, if they'd have had the mentality of just like, rejection sucks, by the time they got to 10, 11, 12, we're like, right, I've had enough of hearing no. They would have never got to 16 and 17 to hear yes. Yeah. That's somebody that's hungry and wants to keep gnawing until they get to the meat on the bone, because they're starving.
Yeah.
And I think that's what business owners need to do. And that you don't, I think we get distracted by the glossiness of the way social media and online stuff is presented to us, that there's these big companies like the Warehouse and Kmart and Air New Zealand, all those ones, they look slick. It's because they have to be, because they've got a corporate tone and message and that they have to live to. The greatest advantage of a SME business is the speed at which you can make a decision and execute. And it doesn't have to be polished, because the people that you're dealing with don't really give a shit. They've just got a problem and they're looking for somebody to solve it. And if you can solve it and solve it really well at a price that they can see that there's value, money's going to change hands.
Yeah, even for us today, we've sent out an offer a day that we're involved with in March. It's not till March. I'm thinking, what's the perfect day to send it out? It's it's not for another 2 months, just about. Wording, this, and it's like, punch the offer, get it done, and bang, people are saying, I would like to come to that. So if we don't do that, then we don't get that feedback, and it's almost, okay, this is working and it's going to work, and then you then build on the lesson for the next time. And I think that's the challenge we put out for people last year, but the same this year, because at least it's going to get easier now. Is last year we were saying, like, how many offers did you make in 2024? And be honest, are you actually putting offers into the marketplace? Okay, you may have to double down on those. And the businesses that were willing to do it, shock, they put more offers and then they got more response. Now, this year, I think, just like we've talked about, it's going to be a bit more fruitful when you put an offer out and there's going to be more buyers in the marketplace, and you go, great, that did work. Therefore, it gives you the confidence to do it again. It's hard to do things when nothing's happening, but now that things will slowly start to happen again, I think that should be your confidence to turn it into a process, not a one-off.
The other thing that's going to be in the mix in 26 is be very mindful or conscious about what you are consuming, because there is going to be a lot of noise this year that is going to be distracting and is going to impact your ability to make a decision and execute. And we've already seen early this year overseas impacts with what the US is up to with Venezuela, and now I'm hearing about some bits and pieces in Iran, and that could make people go, oh, gee, what am I going to do? We know that we've got an election coming up in, we don't know the date, but presumably September, October. We're already seeing advertising national. Have already got a billboard on the motorway as you're driving on the North Shore somewhere. There will still be continued press around the data of liquidation activity, because the economy is only just starting to recover, but there's this lag as the mop goes through and cleans up all of these companies that shouldn't be in business. That's still going to create noise and create a distraction for business owners, because you're going to see, oh, there's green shoots and all this opportunity, but there's all these liquidations. I think, yes, have an awareness of it, but be really mindful of like what impact is that having on your business and your ability to make a decision and do stuff, because it's going to come from your own ability to get the clarity and confidence from doing everything that you were just saying in terms of just do the basics, get it right, hustle, fill your pipeline.
Yeah, I wrote an article for Master Plumbers, and I kind of touched on that where, people were reading and telling me, oh, there's record liquidations. I'm like, no shit. We just went through one of the gnarliest recessions. What, like, did you expect it to be like record growth,
Yeah.
So, of course, we should see that. But I'm like, you have no debt. You're in a good position. It's literally got nothing to do with you. Read the article. The lesson you should take from it is, I need to be careful who I extend credit to. Not, oh, it's tough out there, it's really bad, oh, look at this. Of course. And what I then go on to say in the article is that there's a lot of business owners that are actually in a really unfair advantage and situation right now that don't have debt and don't have debt to the IRD. And one I spoke to today is literally just finished paying off all of their YDC type loans. So I said, you need to get some more debt from Heartland, it'd be great. Great. But, I'm like, wow, that's cash that's not going out. So,
Wow.
That's an unfair advantage compared to those people that are coming back into, let's say, hopefully a better economy going, oh, shit, well, I still need to get on top of my debt. I've got a drag every month of my repayment. And we've spoken to a couple of those this year as well. Like, this is the reality of business. Everybody's at a different situation. And if you don't understand your situation, where you're at, perhaps you're missing the fact that you could actually have your foot on the gas a little bit more, and you are in an unfair advantage to how a lot of people are trading, and you just can't see it because you're blinding yourself with all the noise out there, when really you're in a better position than you realise.
Let's get those noise-cancelling headphones. Stick on some, I don't know, what do you listen to these days? Bit of Drake?
You could get a bit of Drake in there, bit of like a long 2-hour playlist just to, then hopefully not touch the phone and stay focused.
Yeah. Block out the noise and get shit done.
Work. Yeah. We didn't touch on, mate, the business confidence from NZIER.
Yes.
Is it the Institute of Economic Research, I think, maybe?
Something like that. Is that the quarterly survey of business something, da-da-da-da-da?
I think ANZ do their own one, but this is different again, right? So this is not...
There's so much out there, but yeah.
But their data has been going for years. Anyway, over 10 years. I think 2014 was the last time that they had this much confidence from business owners, which that was the December quarter, or was it September? I think it was December.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, geez, how do they get their data out so fast? Doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like New Zealand.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a subtle mug off of what stats is it?
Yeah, it's only the 16th. Like, how have they got that out so quick? But yeah, I was surprised. Like, there's been a couple of times where I've been surprised by this. I think it was May 2024 when, not long after, Adrian Ord said, oh, we're going to decrease the official cash rate. It's turning. Business owners like, I can be more confident. I think taking a graph or, a quiz or whatever and saying, oh, I'm feeling confident, I'm going to hire, is a lot different to actually getting out there and doing it. Yeah.
And that's where from earlier of just saying, like, yeah, it's great that there's all this optimism, but is the optimism going to match reality?
Yeah.
And I think when you overlay the noise that's in the mix in the year ahead, how much of that optimism is actually going to come through in the numbers, and shit's going to happen. And I think what we're trying to say here to business owners is going, this isn't all going to happen by itself. You need to, if you want a different result, you've got to go out there and do something. You've got all the tools and all the resources at your fingertips. You just got to start and send that email, pick up that phone call, send the text message, do whatever to shake the tree, the opportunities out there. If you're not going to go after it, somebody else will.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, optimism's great to, probably get us to the point and go, well, I will send the email because I'm more optimistic, but you've then got to have the willpower and the discipline to go, oh, okay, well, just because I didn't get a response to the first one, I will do it again, or knock on the first door, make the extra phone call. So we need to see more action from people to then drive the results. It can't just be, oh, yeah, I hope it's going to get better. But clearly their data is telling us that things are expected to get better via business owners.
It reminds me, I was watching something on the TV over the holiday break, and somebody mentioned the word affirmations. And they like affirmations. And I thought to myself, well, because they're going to make you feel good. And it's much like optimism. And I'm like, okay, well, it's going to make you feel good, but how do you make that last longer? Well, nothing's going to change unless you do something differently. Otherwise, it's just some words on a paper to make you kind of feel good about yourself in the short term.
Yeah.
That's the optimism. Let's now turn it into reality by actually taking some action.
Yeah, I love that. It's, the old staring at the sky, yelling like, oh, it's going to get better or whatever. You're still going to have to do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any predictions for 2025, mate? Very just like economy-based in terms
2026?
Sorry, yeah, 2026. Yeah, we are here. I actually wrote down 2025 as well. I'm still stuck in the past.
Hey!
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I've been trying to be really mindful of it, like when I'm setting calendar dates, like 2026. Yep. I think, I genuinely think that this year will be a less of a grind than it has been. And I think people have lost sight of the fact that we went through, let's say, 2 years of a pandemic. Let's be outright honest, that was fucking weird. And
yeah.
Like, okay, that's just weird to operate through. And then it's, okay, great, we got through it, and we probably got through unscathed economically a little bit, and then we had to pay the price. And now we've done 3 years, like 2023, 2024, 2025, where a lot of people have gone, I just haven't experienced it being this hard. And I think a lot of people have become disillusioned to the fact that, like, eventually things do change. And of course it takes us to take action to do that, and winners are always going to find a way to win. But, like, it won't be that grindy forever. And we're probably, hopefully, through the worst of it. And so then we've got to actually, like, let our belief catch up to the fact that is the case, rather than just, oh, it's all cooked. But to be in a meat grinder for 5 years.
That's a freaking long time, mate.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's not, like, that's quite a few years of a life, and to have them consecutive, like pandemic and then bang, 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 tough economic grind.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to
It's like you're going right jab, left jab, uppercut, and whatever, just a straight punch in the face.
Yeah.
Just consecutively.
Yes.
And I think that's just the way people are feeling. But from what you're saying in terms of the predictions for 2026, I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
My crystal ball isn't polished enough because there's just so much. I can just see too much noise out there that, yes, Fonterra's done this magnificent deal selling off their consumer brands for over $4 billion. And there's just this hope that that's going to flow through to the economy. No, it won't. It's going to go overseas on cruises, is my answer, as the boomers decide to go, hey, look, see you later. We've had fun on the farm for so long. We're about to cash in and get a reward. The economy is still far too dependent on housing. And I think for housing to improve in value, we've got to create demand for housing that requires more people. People don't want to come here because New Zealand, frankly, at the moment, internationally, isn't marketable. We spoke to an MP in the Koru Lounge before we flew to Queenstown back in December. And they even admitted that they were struggling to attract foreign investment because there's no certainty or confidence in the way the New Zealand operates to give them certainty to put cash here. And it's just like, man, if that at a bigger picture level, that's going to flow through to smaller people, or just the average person who are going, look, I want to come to New Zealand. That'll create demand for housing, put pressure on house prices to go up. Then we've got an election to think about. We've still got a little bit, I think, of uncertainty as to where interest rates are going to go. Oh, what's his name? Was it Shrewsbury, his parting gift? Was saying about, oh, hey, look, might need to factor in some increases, and then the wholesale rates changed. Then that new lady, Dr. Brennan, came out and said, whoa, cool your jets. We still need to. So it's just like, there's all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to have a better year than you've had in the previous 5, it's ultimately going to come down to your ability to take action. No one else. And if you're not prepared to take the action or do something different, because the opportunity will be out there, then no one's going to come and save you.
Yeah, a couple of final things from me. One is actually define what a good year would be. Because I think it's so easy to go, oh, nothing much happened in 2025 or 2026 or whatever, and it's tough out there. And you go, well, what did you want it to be? And a lot of people don't even do that. And then they just get to the end of the year and go, oh, it was shit. Like I was rolling around the back end of 2025 just telling everyone I'd had a great year. No one was like, oh, what made it great? They're just like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Like no one's like, oh, can you please define that for me? And I think we just don't do that. We're just like, it's either shit or it's good. Okay, great. But that's I think, a very simple exercise again. What would make 2026 great, and then how you're going to do it, and then maybe as well reflect on 2025 and go, what didn't it have that you had hoped that it would have, or that you would have liked to have had? Okay, well that year's gone, but maybe we can start getting closer to that in 2026.
Spot on, mate.
New year, new economy.